We are jumping into chapter 9 finally. I know we took a while with chapter 8, but chapter 9, we have now seen that Noah and his family have come out. They've made the sacrifice. They've pleased God. God has said that he will make a covenant with him. And in chapter 9, we see that. So in verse 11, it says, I will establish my covenant or pledge with you. Never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there ever again be a flood to destroy the earth and make it corrupt. But the thing I love, there's a couple things I want to say. It says, and as this token of covenant, which I'm making between me and you, jump down, it says, I set my bow or a rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be a token or sign of a covenant or solemn pledge between me and the earth. Now, I want one more thing I want to read you really quick. It says, I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters will no more become a flood to destroy and make all flesh corrupt. When the bow is in the clouds and I look upon it, I will remember the everlasting covenant or pledge between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. Now, we know the story of Noah with the rainbow, and we know the symbol it means, but there's a lot of things in the rainbow itself that make this so cool. So the first one is in different passages in Revelations and a couple other places, I believe Ezekiel, it references that the rainbow is around God, that in heaven he sits and he comes down as if a rainbow enwrapped around him. And so what's interesting about this is that the rainbow is already something that is a part of God. Like it's a symbol. It's in heaven. It is a surrounding God, right? And so if we think about it, rainbows are made when light reflects, right? They can't be made. That's why they come when it's rainy or misty outside, because it takes the raindrops, the little tiny droplets, reflecting the light. Now, here's another thing that's so awesome about the rainbow. The rainbow is a reflection of the light that shined upon it. In other words, in this covenant, the covenant that God made, nothing matters without his light, without his input. So the promise doesn't make a difference if he wasn't a God that is faithful to keep his promise. The raindrops don't mean anything if it doesn't have the light of God to reflect from it. And so I love this because it says, when I see it in the sky, I will remember. And remember, we had talked about this in the past when he was talking about the covenant he made. He said, I will remember my covenant with you to Noah. And we said, he's not a forgetful God. He didn't forget. He remembers in saying, in the way the context is, it actually means I am faithful. I will fulfill my promise. When I see it, I will fulfill my promise. It's my sign to you. It's like a contract between me and you. Here's the terms. This is what it is. The rainbow's the stamp and the signature at the bottom. And so I love the fact that God put that rainbow in the sky and that we can still see it today. And the other part I love is that this covenant is not just with us as human beings, but literally it says with every creature of the earth. In other words, God made a promise not only to the humans that can err and sin because he knew we would sin again, but also with the creatures that don't have the same conscience and spirit that we have. He said, even you little animals, I care about you. I will not ever do this to you again. And so I just love the whole picture of this covenant and the rainbow, because the rainbow is the reflection of the light, the reflection of a God that loves us and wants to give us a second chance all the time, even though he knows we're going to be sinful. He's the reflection of that promise. And so I think about that, and that's where I wanted to end today, is just thinking about how important the rainbow is in the sky. Now, I know that there are lots of groups that have kind of tried to take over the rainbow, which I think is interesting because for everything that there is that God has created, Satan tries to make a counterfeit. And so I believe this is his attempt. But let me tell you, a rainbow only comes when light reflects on it, not darkness. And so Satan doesn't have that on us. So those are my thoughts for today on the beginning of chapter 9. We have a few more things in chapter 9 on the second part that we'll go into next time.